Okay, so we'll share screens. So this is roughly what OneFile looks like when you log in. How it looks depends on whether you've got these little pop-up menus open or not. So you might find it pops open like that. To get rid of these, you just click on the little arrows and they open and close. So that's your sort of your dashboard information. And then this is really who the assessment team are. So look at that. I'm the student, I'm the assessor, and I'm the IQA as well. So I should hopefully be able to pass. There's only really one place that you need to go, and that is to tasks over here. It also shows up as a little clipboard up here, but I think it's easy to go to over there. The three little bars just here, we'll open that up. If you're not sure, you can leave it like that if you prefer. And you can see its tasks there. So when I've assigned you the tasks, you should probably have 3 showing there. And the easiest way is just literally to go on task and click on that, and it will open up essentially your inbox for tasks. So the top one is to update your profile information. Now, you do not need to do that. You might have done it already. You might have decided to delete it because you didn't want to do it. It's about putting your personal details onto OneFile, adding your photograph and all such things like that. So you do not need to do that. If you want to, that's fine and lovely. If you don't, that's fine. You can just hide it. Please do not hide these 2, though. These are your 2 tasks. So if we look at task B first, oddly enough, so you can see the title of the topic here. It's Unit 2, Task B, Deliver Your Microteach. It's a hyperlink, so you can see I'm hovering over that with the mouse, and it's just a little hand. If I click on that, it opens up the task. Here are your instructions at the top of the screen. So it's asking you to deliver a microteach of 15 minutes demonstrating a selection of learning approaches to engage and motivate learners, then download and complete the reflective account document from resources on OneFile. Of course, resources is down here, which is what we've all been doing over this last 3 weeks, based on the 15-minute session, and obtain feedback from your peers. Obtain 3 feedback accounts from peers. You could have more. You need at least 3. And feedback from your tutor. So that'll be me for the microteach sessions. So the requirements, the evidence requirements for this are at least 3 feedback accounts and 1 observation report. You can upload all of your peer feedback if you want. It's a minimum of 3. So those are your instructions. If you scroll down the screen, I'm just going to close off the side there so we've got a bigger view. Slide down the screen, we've got here, these are the assessment criteria that you've got to meet. And this is where your evidence goes. You can type in this box, but for this particular one, it's all Word documents. So we're going to add attachments. So there'll be 4 attachments that needs to be added to this. 3 feedbacks from your peers, 1 from your tutor. It's pretty much like attaching to an email to attach a document to this. So click on Add Attachment. It takes you to the download portal within OneFile, and the first thing to do is to click on Select a File. And then you'll get a little dialog box open up, which is exactly the same as you might get if you're attaching an email. So I'm just going to pick a document here. It's gone to my download, so I'll just pick a document there. Click on Open, and it's added it to my download portal. So you can see there's the document there. I actually need 3 documents, another 3 documents. So I'm going to select File again. If you know where they all are, you can select them in one go. I think with the hold down the Shift key, you can select them all in one go like that if you want to. See if that works. 3 files. There we go. So there we go. There are my 4 files that I'm going to upload. So that would be the observation report that you get from me, and at least 3 of your peer feedbacks. Feel free to upload as many as you like. So I'm happy with all of that. You'll find that there's an attach button here at the top, and I think it also reappears duplicated at the bottom. Doesn't matter which one you use, just click on attach, and it takes you back to the task itself. So again, there's our instructions, there's our assessment criteria, and here's the evidence box. And you can now see my 4 documents are now attached as evidence. I carry on back down. If you want to send me a message, you can put it in there. Don't have to, because it should be obvious as to what's attached. What you do need to do is put in how long it took you to do this. Now, this is because OneFile is primarily designed as an apprenticeship e-portfolio system. And of course, with apprenticeships, anybody who works on apprenticeships knows that the on-the-job and off-the-job time has to be tracked. It's a mandatory funding requirement. We don't track this for teacher training, but OneFile won't allow you to submit the work without putting something in there. So it doesn't matter what you put in there, as long as you put a number in there. So I'm going to put that it took me, well, it was all the planning and everything. So actually, probably I'll say that it took me 90 minutes to do that, but says it doesn't matter what you put in there. So you carry on down, and then if you've attached all 4 documents that are required, you then need to sign it, which you do by clicking the little tick there against your name. Carry on down and then click on Save and Quit. This task will then disappear from your inbox and it'll appear in my inbox, ready for me to mark. If you haven't yet attached all the documents, so you want to do a bit of work to it, you've maybe attached perhaps the 3 peer feedbacks that you've got from somebody, but you haven't got my observation report yet. So you've attached those, but you haven't finished yet, then just click on Save and Quit without ticking it. Once you've ticked that and you click on Save and Quit or Save and Refresh, then you've lost it. It comes to me. If you send it by accident, it's not a problem. Just drop me an email and I'll send it back to you. But you don't have access to it once you've ticked and clicked on Save and Quit. So just make sure everything is on there before you do that. If you want to just check it, you can click on Save and Refresh and it'll just refresh the whole screen and you've got it back again just to go back and check. Say, yeah, I've got that there. I might send a message to Gary there, perhaps. I've put my time in. So I'm happy now. It's ready to go. So I sign it and then click on Save and Quit. And off that goes. And you can see now my task box has gone down to 1. I go over to here, tasks 1. So that's now in my inbox, ready to mark. So that's your primary task that all of you should be able to do. All but 3 of you can do this evening or sometime this week. And there's 3 of you that are just waiting for peer feedback to come to you and for my observation report. Actually, I'll just pause there. Does that raise any queries or questions about that? So I am recording it, so you can watch it back over again. Okay, so we'll have a look at the second task. This is Unit 2, Task 8. So again, just click on the task and it'll open up. And here are your instructions. Produce at least 1 session plan for a minimum of 45 minutes. Okay, so this is something you haven't done yet, although if you're in a teaching role already, you can just grab one of your lesson plans that you've already written for one of your lessons and submit that. It can be as long or less as you want, but it has to be at least 45 minutes. The reason for that is one of the requirements of this qualification is that you need to show planning for a lesson of at least 1 hour. Excuse me, my voice is going. So you'll have a lesson plan for 15 minutes, which will be your little micro teach. So you just need to make sure you've got another lesson plan that covers at least 45 minutes. If it's a plan for a 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour lesson, that's absolutely fine. So for some of you, that might mean that you don't have too much work to do for this. You just dig out one of your lesson plans that you've got electronically. As long as it's for at least 45 minutes in duration, that'll be fine for this. So find a lesson plan of 45 minutes or more, and that's one of the things that's got to be uploaded. If you don't, if you're not currently in a teaching role, then you just need to write a lesson plan for a lesson of at least 45 minutes on whatever subject you like, something you do intended to teach or you already trained or delivered training on. So that's one document. Second document will be your lesson plan for your microteach, in whatever format that is. And then finally, you may or may not remember, but we covered this on week 1 and on week 2. And I said to you, when you're planning your lesson, think about the reasons that you're choosing the certain methods that you're choosing. Think about the pros and cons of the different approaches. And this is for this particular task here. You have to upload a document called evidence 212 to 232. And that is a rationale about why you selected the teaching methods that you chose and the strengths, the various strengths and weaknesses of those different approaches and methods. It's a little Word document. It's just a table. And of course, it's in resources, which we can find down here. So download that document and complete that. The methods for teaching and learning that you chose could come from your microteach, or they could come from this 45-minute lesson plan, or they could come from both, as long as they have some connection with one or either or both of those two lesson plans. So it's just why, what was the method? Why did you choose it? What was the rationale behind it? Justification, if you like. So thinking about your audience, you know, so that what methods you chose. Obviously, we're limited in methods because it's an online delivery, but, you know, was I going to talk? Was I going to get the learners to discuss things? Was I going to use a collaboration board? Was I going to ask them questions? Was I going to ask them to open their mic and speak? Were I going to put them in chat? How was I going to engage the learners in the activities? Why did I choose those particular methods? What was the rationale behind it? And then any strengths and weaknesses. And we've kind of discussed lots of strengths and weaknesses in our feedback. You know, well, that's good, but, you know, this maybe could have been improved upon. So for this particular activity, you should have 3 documents again to upload. One lesson plan of 45 minutes or more, another lesson plan for your microteach, and the Word document evidence 212 to 232. If we just scroll down again, these are the assessment criteria you've got to meet. This is where you would attach the evidence here, just the same as before. We've got our timesheet to fill in. How long did it take me to do that? And then signature when it's done, and save and quit to send it off to me. So just lastly, to look where that document is, if you're not too sure, evidence 212 to 232. If we go to resources, the little filing cabinet, learner resources, level 3 award, unit 2 delivery, task A planning, and there's some example lesson plans. There's lots of nice resources in there in actual fact. And here is the document that we're looking for, evidence 212 to 232. And that's just a little Word table that you can complete with your justification of methods and their various strengths and weaknesses. So there we go. A lot of information there and lots of places to click around the screen in. But hopefully, as you've got a recording here, you can always, I'll put the recording in OneFile. There is a folder, I believe. Let's go back up again and up again and up again. Yeah, there's a folder here called Using OneFile. There is actually a video in there already that I've done for my engineering students, but I'll put this folder, this recording, I'll put that in here. And there we go.